Hi there. Today we're going to look at the angles in a triangle, and as I would expect most of you to know this and have seen this little bit before. If I take just a random triangle, it's just one I drew on some brightly coloured paper, and if I tear the corners off, and I get those corners and I put them close together, what you should see is those corners can be arranged to make a dead straight line. So from work that we've done on angles before, that would suggest to me that they add up to 180 degrees, because we know 180 degrees makes a straight line. So just having a quick summary of that. If I have angles A, B and C, then A plus B plus C was 180 degrees. And then my favourite little maths word, they are supplementary. So if you're given two of the angles, it's easy to find out the third one by just thinking, right, what do I have to add to these two to make that 180 degrees? So something that's quite a common maths thing. Now I want to look at some special cases. The first case I want to look at is an isosceles triangle. I-S-O-S-C-E-L-E-S. In an isosceles triangle, two of the sides are the same length. So let's say that one and that one. So these marks say they're the same length. What it does, by putting in two sides that are the same length, it gives us a line of symmetry down the middle. And that means that these two angles are the same. And again, that helps us to work out some questions. So for example, if we had an isosceles triangle like this, and I said that was 40 degrees, how big is angle X? You would instantly say, well, X is equal to 40 degrees, because they are the same. Now you can get a different sort of question. You can get a question that says, okay, if this is 90 degrees, how big is angle X? And the way you approach that is you say, well, if I know that is X, then I know that this is X too. So altogether I've got two X's plus 90 degrees equals 180 degrees. So in terms of that being an equation that I need to solve, I would know that two X's would have to be 90 degrees, because I know that 90 plus 90 is 180. And if two X's are 90 degrees, then I have to divide the 90 by 2 to tell me what one X, and that's 45 degrees. So in this case, there would be 45 degrees each. So beware of the two types of questions. One of them is, here's one of the angles, let's find the equal one. And the other one is, here's one of the angles, but we don't know either of the equal ones. So we can work that out by knowing that two of them, add the angle up here, would make the 180 degrees. So we just have to do some simple algebra. Now, The third case I want, sorry, so 1, 2, 3. The third case I want to look at is the equilateral triangle. And in an equilateral triangle, that means equilateral, equal sides. The word lateral means side, literally. And so what that means is all of these angles are the same. And if I've got three angles, x, x and another x, I've got three x's equals 180 degrees. To find what one of those x's, I clearly have to do 180 shared between the three individual places. It gives me 60 degrees each. And that's the same for every equilateral. Equilateral. Equal sides. So for every equilateral triangle it's 60 degrees. There's no set rule for isosceles, you just have to do some working out depending on whether they give you the one of the equal ones or the non-equal one. That's what you have to be aware of, but this is much simpler, always 60 degrees. Now the final thing I wanted to talk about was an exterior angle. Now if I was to draw a triangle like this, this here is the exterior angle. Because it's outside the triangle, exterior. And it always makes that lovely straight line like that. So it's like we've got a straight base and we've got this exterior angle on top. Now what I know is that these two angles are on a straight line, so they're supplementary, so they make 180 degrees. Now I also know that these angles here, along with this one, make 180 degrees too. So if I was to call these ones A, B, C and D, I would know that A plus B plus C equals 180 degrees, and I would also know that D plus C equals 180 degrees. So I think it follows quite clearly that A plus B equals D. So if I was just to summarise that in a small diagram, I've got A plus B is equal to D. Okay? So, the things we need to know. Angles in a triangle at 280 degrees, I'm sure you knew that already. Isosceles triangle has two angles that are the same, but not where the two sides join. That's not one of the same angles. It's in the places where they join the non-same length side. Two types of questions. One is where they give you one of the same angles and ask you to find the other same angles. The other one is where they ask you to find an angle that's not the same, and then you have to find both the ones down here to find what one is. That's interesting. Equilateral, always the same 60 degrees. And on this exterior angle, these two angles here equal that one out there when you add them together. Because of this rule, A plus B plus C equals 180 degrees and C plus D equals 180 degrees. So it follows quite clearly that that's the case.